Okay, here we are. Neat. Get into a map right away. Let's go. This is Gauntlet Gaming. First Edison tournament, second tournament ever. Pretty exciting if you're a person that is into such things. I'm right into Indicud. Okay. Indicud and Top Deck Wizard, who I believe is Scott Page. Scott is going to be on Hero Deck. That's pretty similar to one that I've been playing, but it's basically like Militias, Divas, Hero Beat cards like Neos Alias and Gemini Spark. Indicud is going to be on Zombie Deck. So this is a 16-person tournament, and it's in my server, which I'll drop shortly in the chat below. But yeah, I'm hoping to do these tournaments, and also the winner gets a $50 card, Primeval Planet Perlereino card. I think hoping to build this up and do a little community. So then, just gonna host a couple free tournaments. Rolls. Make sure the stream's all set up. Having any issues with their round one. At least in their game correctly, which is battle. The things seem to basically be working correctly. I'm going to turn myself up a little bit and stream is the chat. Trying to make sure everything's all set up the way I want it. And I think we're good. So we're going to see Indicud taking game one over Scott. Seems like he was just able to outvalue him with Hamster Caius stuff, which is definitely a problem for the hero deck. You know, it's, I wouldn't really say it's like a fair deck, but and sometimes struggle against just like kind of bread and butter advantage based plays, like flip summon, tribute for Caius, you know, you're potentially getting like a +2 swing if you do something like that. So it's a, you know, at the end of the day, it's like a control aggro deck, so recovering from more advantage based plays like that are going to be really difficult. But they also have a lot of ways to combat that. I mean, there's Sparks, there's potentially Nobleman's game 2, and you have all these synchro plays with like Brionics and stuff, so yeah, I think there's definitely a good amount of ways to combat that if you want. And let me drop a link to the server in my chat. You know, of course, this is the first time I'm doing this on this channel, so I am fully prepared for there to be some hiccups. But yeah, I mean, hoping it goes well. I'm trying not to stress making everything perfect, and just kind of vibe out, have a nice little tournament. Once again, $50 prize to the winner, or $50 in value. The card that I do currently own, and do not want to go through the hassle of selling myself, so I'm gonna go send it to someone else, and it's gonna be their problem. But I'm James Ark. This is Gauntlet Gaming, my little project that I'm gonna host some tournaments on. Did a nice GOAT one yesterday, that Dale Bolito won, and this one today is Edison format 2010. We have a lot of top current players like Scott Page, who we're watching right now. I believe Christian Urin is playing, as well as a lot of the better online players like Dick and Indica. So I think that it's a nice little tournament to show people skills. Kind of baited him with this shoot Raiko play. And I mean, that's definitely a way that, as I was saying before, you can kind of struggle with these like bread and butter plays, but you bait out the Raikos, and then now you can use your summons more effectively. So it seems like he navigated around that pretty well. Even though it gets hit by the bottomless, you know, he's still getting advantage. Getting the malicious, that can be maybe discarded for a Phoenix Wing Bust. Eternity, and I can ship it. You know, if a bunch of foreign people enter these tournaments and I end up having to pay a shitload of shipping worldwide, that would not be my favorite thing in the world. But for these first couple tournaments, it's free, it's meant to build community, so if I have to ship it worldwide to you, sure, I don't care. You know, it'll cost me $10, already giving away a $50 card for free. If I have to give another $10, like, if someone from outside the country wins, so be it. Yeah, please join. You guys may know me from the Ed and Edison channel, the E3 channel. I run that with Keegan, runs it by himself, but I helped found that, and just a big fan of Edison format and a lot of these retro formats in general. But I could also see myself doing some of these tournaments for current format or hat format or other things like that. So that's definitely the goal, to expand it in a nice way going forward. We'll be doing regular GOAT stuff, regular Edison stuff, and right now, again, I could Scott Page. This is game 2. Because was able to win game 1. Pull up the bracket real quick just so we can see what we're working with. But thank you guys already for participating and tuning in. The one thing that I gotta finesse a little better in the future is, I think you guys can see this, the tournament bracket. So we got Pro versus 10 Foot Pick, Cam Neal against Dice God. Trust me, I'll get back to the game in a second. Christian Urin against Kuru, E against Hydro Pump. This is the match we're watching. Top Deck Wizard Good, Ghost Rider Lee Park, Totocon Flocky, and Vera Chaos versus ABP. These are all guys basically that I know from the other communities, edisonformat.com, format library, etc. And you know, I wouldn't say I really handpicked everybody, because I kind of was just looking to fill the tournaments, but I basically did reach out to people that I thought were good players, that are just like trustworthy people that kind of like would be good fits for these kind of environments. I definitely play a lot of other like cash tournaments online, and have over the past couple of years. I've done a lot of thinking about what I like about them, what I don't like, so just kind of trying to cultivate a good environment. So able to get this Ocean effect off, and Ocean is a really underrated card, I think, in Hero decks. Like, anytime you're getting the plus off it, it's really valuable, because not only are you essentially, you know, getting your Spark live again, but you're also you know, can get back a Stratos for a pop, or just thin your deck and keep your resource game up. What I really like about it is it's not battle focused. Like, you can sit there with an Ocean and never attack with it, and keep getting back all your guys and make them use their removal on all your other monsters. So, whereas the hero deck, kind of think of it as a more one-dimensional aggro deck that's just going to lose to any kind of removal. But if you can stick an Ocean and protect it, that's one way to play around it. And one way to kind of like recoup advantage against those kind of like hamster or Raikou strategies that can give you a big problem. But Ocean does get answered here, but and it's good because you can kind of choose when you want to risk those things. Of course, it's also a water for absolute zero, but like he chose to swing with the Ocean there, probably a calculated risk, and I think Indigo kind of had to use the Deep Prison because even though he doesn't have another monster in grave right now, like he could be threatening discard off a Wind Blast to recur a monster, which is a play I like to do a lot, or just like, you know, Spark with the Alias, and the Ocean just getting super value. So you essentially have to use the Deep Prison on the Ocean there, and even if you don't have the Spark in hand, it means that your Alias is going to be attacking more clearly. So it's kind of just like, I don't know, a big target for their removal. They basically have to get it off the field. So Indica drawing and setting here. You're going to see flip summon Alias. So I think he did this to play around Torrential. This is a good play that you see a lot of good players do. Like, if I already have a monster on the board, oh, he did have Torrential. If I already have a monster on the board, and you don't have any monsters, I don't necessarily want to summon a second guy and just get Torrential. So if I summon a guy and then I set a monster next to it, it leaves the other player in a kind of awkward position because they still have the Torrential set on their turn. So they're thinking, oh, like, I have to set a monster to protect against this, but I still want to get my Torrential off. So it works out in this case because he had a Goblin Zombie, but a lot of times if you were just forced to set like a Raikou or a Hamster there, and on the next turn, you could flip the monster that you set, and then it kind of makes their Torrential 2 for 2 rather than summoning it the turn prior and getting 2 for 2. So that's basically the logic when you see people do stuff like that. And yeah, please let me know in the chat if you guys can hear me okay. If music's too loud, I just kind of like threw on some random chill trance playlist, something like that. But maybe in the future I'll be a little more targeted about how I'm doing that. But yeah, I mean, probably gonna be here for, I would say, 2.5 hours, something like that. The one last night took about 3 hours to finish. And you know, we're just gonna grind through it. So it's gonna be the first person who wins is gonna have to go 4-0. This is round 1 essentially. So the pass scenario here, and the Reaper comes in. I mean, this is a really awkward card when you're playing against zombies, both because the hero deck doesn't have a lot of good ways to deal with it. Actually doesn't have a lot of just targeted removal. You play a lot of back row, like Reapers and Bottomless, so a Reaper in defense can really kind of block you for a while. But when you don't commit to the field because you don't want to like hit their, oh god, yeah, this is looking over. When you don't want to commit to the field because you don't want to lose to their like Raikous or their Recruiters, then Reaper is a card that really punishes that. So it's a good part of the toolbox, I would say, in the zombie deck. So, and it's just completely going to town here. I mean, obviously the Storm was kind of icing on the cake. The Mirror Force could have answered one of these threats, because Indica is likely going to switch it to defense, but it's going to be a super uphill battle for Top Deck Wizard here, also because he's pretty low on life, so he's going to have to deal with these monsters in an efficient way, which is not going to be the easiest. Like, if he used the removal spell here, then Top Deck Wizard basically has to have the Spark. He does have the Spark, okay. Two Hero Blasts are gone, I believe, so might not be able to recur that super well, but I would say either the Pyramid or the Reaper look like good targets for this. You don't really want to hit this because it's back, but also was the biggest monster on board, so So yeah, Reaper or Primeval. Okay. Draws a card, probably hoping that's a really relevant trap, because it doesn't seem like he was going to plan on using the Mirror Force on these guys. Might not have a blocker for this Reaper. Trying to draw a Deep Prison or something like that. And yeah, we're just chugging along. He has 3 sets, no reason to attack directly with Reaper. Essentially got him on a 1-turn window here. Mizuki, maybe hoping that's a Deep Prison. Block this, sets another background. Hoping that's a Deep Prison, maybe Mizuki attack, but it doesn't look like it's anything because that was attacked through last turn. Well, it was a Deep Prison that he held. Maybe hoping you could catch him attacking with that Reaper, because sort of a card that's more valuable to want to clear than the Mizuki. But still, maybe a little weird that you didn't use it the prior turn. Yeah, looking super uphill for Top Deck Wizard right now. Has the skill drains, has the Diva also. Cards that kind of conflict with each other, but if you're able to resolve the Diva first and stick a big guy, then the skill drain can be super clutch. Like Android plus skill drain, you know, it's a card that you easily put on the field for free. A lot of guys are going to have a hard time doing. So I'm getting word that Hydro Pump 1, round 1. So I will mark that down. Challenge, yep. Here's the Miracle. That was kind of a card I thought would have been sitting there dead. And the Hydro Pump. I have a feeling. Double Miracle. Oh my god. So now this is going to clear the Reaper in the set. Unless it's a Goblin Zombie, this is going to be actually a pretty favorable trade. That was a Snowman Eater. And you know what? The Android can even help Top Deck Wizard recover some life too. So, you know, it's still not great. Indica is up essentially 2 cards, but he doesn't really have a lot of his engine going either. Oh, he's saying, "Oh, you got the brain control," but he doesn't have it. Otherwise, obviously, it would just be game. But brain control is kind of a card that he could have been sitting on, so I see why he might think that. But he doesn't do anything. He just keeps this card set. I mean, he can take another 2400 hit comfortably, but like maybe he has a return set. That's kind of what I'm thinking. But if Top Deck Wizard has another trap, super great. Okay, so he could have drawn potentially like a 3rd Miracle or a trap that he doesn't want to use. I think any monster is probably just getting kind of YOLO summoned there. So we're just gonna hit again. Okay, call on the Pyramid. That's a good one because it can also get him towards his engine. The E or something comes down from the hand. Thinking, I mean, I think if he does have MST, I would want to use it. But so no attack, makes a lot of sense. Goes up in 480p. You know, I gotta be super honest. I figure out how to fix that. I was, but I think it says to do with my stream setting, which I can, but too much. Just in the interest. I don't know. This is definitely just kind of a test run while I figure out some of this stuff. I mean, I've streamed before, obviously, but making sure all this thing out. Yeah, so it was the return, but you just couldn't really do anything. Guys came down the game. Okay. Get this replay for my purposes. Log all the replays for these. at the goat one. Let's look at Viracast, AB Blackwing. Seems like ABPS is on Fairy. Let me add this sheet. It could win. Take that as well. Ice God also and like one oppression. So they had a question and also Dice God, I believe, over Camille. Check out this where is this guy's game? Yeah, this guy's deck is actually, well, this guy's deck is actually pretty spicy. Kind of like Monster Mash, using merchants. I think he plays a little bit higher spell count. Some of those decks really play only like 3 or 4 spells, but I think he's playing a little more than that. But yeah, it's really cool deck, and a lot of current players I feel like end up using these kind of higher ceiling strategies. Oh, okay. So he just takes it right away. Please. Okay. At it. So let's go back to this one. Christia comes down. That's never a card you want to see. You know, I don't really know anything about this guy, ABPS, but I encountered him just playing a few random games, EB, and I thought he played really well, and we just kind of had a nice match. If I'm gonna be honest, that's very uncommon to find someone that I think is a strong player and, you know, just a nice guy, just on a random ranks. But yeah, I invited him to the server because of that. And, I'm glad to see him entering this tournament and seemingly doing well. Vera Cass during the plays at the moment. Yeah, Christia is going to be certainly a hard card to out, although kind of weak Dialk is on the field. So he's only at 800, so Veracast might be able to run over it, perhaps with a Kalut or something. That could be game ending. No. So winning. Hitter Pump also winning. It is Christian Arena against Hydro Pump in round 2. They'll probably hop over that once they start. So Hydro Pump, if you guys aren't aware, is probably one of the best performing Edison players in the kind of online era. I know when we did some tournaments last year, when me and Keegan were still doing them together, I think he topped both of those with his Dragon Turbo deck, and that was kind of the first time anyone had seen that strategy. But I think at the beginning we weren't even really sure how good it was, but it's definitely proven to be, you know, I don't know if I want to say top tier, but definitely up there as a tiered threat in the format. So it's really cool that he was able to basically bring that to the forefront. But he's also been experimenting with some other decks, Blackwings, things like that, in the past couple months. And he's just clearly a strong player all around. I think he had some IRL success, like Necroz or Shadal format. So not a person that's completely just an online warrior, but yeah, he has had a good amount of success. And Christian Urena, if this is in fact the real guy and not an imposter, someone that has had a lot of success in modern Yu-Gi-Oh. He is top like just a ton of events. I believe he's won a YCS, and yeah, just also a really strong player. So it's really interesting to me to see these kind of like best of online versus best of IRL, because I think in this day and age, a lot of the good current players at least play a little bit of Edison, from what I've been told and from talking to them. And you know, but I also think that both those communities kind of have their own like, what's the word, like they're kind of insular in a way, like they're their own community and they only talk to each other and sometimes don't cross communicate. So it's interesting to watch like someone who, in testing in their own environment, you can see Christian's deck, as I was saying, is this like super high ceiling, like it's like a modern deck. And my opinion is often that like that's how a lot of people, when they return to the format, even, oh my god, they just literally value Sirocco. A lot of people, when they return to this format, they try to apply kind of more modern deck building principles, and I think that's a good idea in a lot of ways, but I also think there's a lot of like truth and value in the decks that people were using back then. Usually when you end up playing the format a lot, and if you're playing against a diverse field, you end up gravitating towards not these kind of super high roll lists, but they're still really interesting to see because, and they're very fun to play and watch. So I do like seeing them come out, and it's just an interesting kind of a matchup where you kind of don't know who's going to come out on top. Kind of like old against new, you know. ABPS1, I believe 10-foot Dick and Necro and Totogon and Flocky are the round ones that are still waiting on. But yeah, the Jane Mill Vayu Sirocco is absolutely insane. And so Hydro Pump is not on Dragon Turbo for this event. He's on Blackwing. Probably could have double checked that, but I didn't. And he halves, and now he doesn't want to get honested here. Not entirely sure Christian's playing honest, but I can respect the play around, you know. But he is, you know, if he had attacked with Shura, for example, and then gotten honested, that's a super huge blowout, and then the Gale looks pretty weak on the field. This is at least guaranteeing you're clearing the Jane, but at the same time, if you are resolving the Shura, a huge upside, because you can get value, you can still make the Armor Master and then make a level 8 afterwards, and have the value with a Armor Master and Graveyard. So, you know, huge upside if that had connected, but kind of hedging his bets here and taking the safer route. Which, you know, oftentimes doing stuff like that really just depends on your hand. But I was going to go Teleport for Krebons, which Teleport, by the way, is not a super common card. It's becoming a little more popular, I think, but still, like, not a card that you're seeing, and definitely not within the past couple years. So it's cool to see a new card like that kind of come back around. Good versus Ghost Rider be going on. But this is a little weird, so I don't know if I hope he knows that this can't be destroyed by battle. Because it seems like he had the opportunity to make, you know, a couple different things here. Like he could have made, if he banished the malicious and then tuned with the Krebons, maybe made a Dark End Dragon, or he could have made a Brionac with the Armageddon Knight. So this is looking to me like a mistake, but maybe there's some sequence here that I'm not seeing. Like if he goes like banish Vayu, summon Dark Armed, then maybe there's a, you know, some reason, but without having much follow-up. Oh yeah, so he definitely just made a mistake. I think that's what that means, you know. A Goyo pass is not the move. And now, I mean, it's still not the end of the world, but because it's going to take him 2 turns to clear it, but what he can do is, you know, swing with this Armor Master into the Goyo, give it its wedge counter, I believe that's what it's called, and on the following turn he'll be able to attack over it. Or what's more likely is he'll switch the Goyo to defense just so he doesn't take more damage. But Hydro also just still thinking whether he even wants to do that. I mean, if he has something like a Blizzard, then he can just get over it. This turn he can either get back the, oh, here we go. Either get back the Gale and then have this, yep. So we're just pressing for more damage basically. Could have also Brionac it, but it would have used the card in his hand, but press for more damage. Kind of a trade-off there. But this is still dealing a lot of damage. Clearing the monster. So, by getting really lucky with the Jane Mill there, I think he kind of fucked up. But it happens, like I said, I think these guys are still kind of newer to playing Edison again, or modern Edison, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, not the play for sure. Hey. Hit a mind control on the Blizzard. There wasn't an Icarus to clear out those things, despite kind of knew Dark End was coming. I think the Icarus would have gotten used, like, or you know, as soon as you put the second monster on them. Now, heard that, so we can choose to go in with this. Maybe this gets deprisoned. I have to feel like it's got to be some kind of battle trap set. Yeah, you're good on him for not extending into that with the Viceroy. He has good follow-up now. But he is at 4,000. I mean, pretty unlikely that Hydrobump's going to be able to kill him. 13 on board. I mean, I guess if you have another Blizzard, then that could make Goyo. But maybe there's even a world where he kind of defensively makes the... Well, the Gale has defect, so you put the Armored Boy on board, that wouldn't do much good, because it's probably just going to get run over. Still has the normal resets. Cool. Necro ended up beating 10-foot Dick, which I would say is an upset, perhaps. Finds Allure. Discards Kalute. Allure seems like a really good one here, just because he'd been kind of sitting on some dead cards and now filtered out. He update this. Necro beats E, and Necro will now play against Ice God. Get back to the game though, so this could be a pivotal turn. He swings over at the Shura. He finally does make the same play we were talking about from turn 1. And I don't know how many Armor Master he plays, hopefully 2. He could do, well, I guess he already has Armor Master Engrave, so it's not so important to be able to make, to put another target engrave for the value. So he could do this a couple ways. He could, if he wants to make a level 8, he could go into Catastrophe first and still have basic result. But, I mean, Dice God. So, I mean, Christian's not out of gas here. He has the value banish, obviously, and he has 4 cards in hand. But given the fact that he ended up just setting the Grepher last turn, I kind of don't think he has a lot going on. Either way, it's going to be hard to break through this board, and the fact that he didn't make a Synchro makes me believe he has Icarus. We kind of are pretty sure that these weren't Icarus, but still, I mean, if one of the new ones are, then it's going to be pretty hard for him to deal with it. And the value is going to represent 2800 coming out. Okay, it was prison. And given that that kind of burned his battle phase too, I'm finding it pretty hard to believe that Christian's going to come back here. We card these, so I mean, hey, that could give him... He needs 3 pretty good cards. I mean, maybe a Storm. You already used Mind Con, so maybe Brain Control helps you do something if you use your normal summon and take his guy, but these are all kind of thin and also multiple card combinations. Maybe a Barrier from a different dimension. Oh, Chaos Sorcerer is not a bad one, honestly, because you can banish the... Okay, not entirely sure on the value banish, but... Because he could Icarus pop one of his own guys, that's probably what he's thinking about. I mean, the Gale is threatening to just run over this Sorcerer next anyway. Or make it so the Shuriken, but the Gale could do it too. So I think you kind of just let this go. I don't see a huge problem with this. And yeah, I mean, maybe he was hoping he would Icarus some of his own stuff, but I believe game on board unless there's a Fader or a... Yeah, he's guys says, oh. Yeah, that's game. I mean, I don't know if he had a better play to make, but it's gonna be game. Oh, he scores. Okay, okay. So 13 and then kills the token. And he can't have the Gorsbane too, but could make a Brionac or an Armor Master. If he has the Icarus, I don't even know if he needs to do any of those things. Also given that he's still at 8,000. Without something really crazy like a return, there's no way Christian's going to be able to piece together that much damage just off a couple cards. So as long as you're not in danger of dying, I think you can hold the Icarus pretty long. Armageddon Knight sends, I mean, I guess this could send a Plague or a Value, probably Value. Yep. And I guess you go all in here because you banish these and the Mirror Force is already gone, but I mean, the Icarus comes down on the Gores and the Armed Wing and you're looking pretty dead. I think this will get tributed off. The Scale will get tributed off for the Icarus. I don't see any reason to do anything different. If there is an Icarus, I mean, if there's not an Icarus, hey, I guess there's anyone game, but I have a hard time believing that all these backers are fake and yeah, okay. Yeah, that's just, I mean, the Armed Wing can crash the Collude if you really want to, but yeah, that's it. Cool, cool, cool. So, I mean, just kind of a case of Blackwing grinding you out with back row, despite Urena having a lot of gas. I mean, the Goyo thing obviously just kind of fucked everything up. I think that was a pretty big throw in a sense, because yeah, Dark End or the Brionac would have put the momentum really far in his favor. I think he could have even won, but that's how it goes sometimes, and you just gotta, you know, move on to game 2. Not really much more to do. I wouldn't say it's an upset when Necro is the best player in the format. Yeah, some have said Necro is the best player in the format. I don't know how many people or how credible they are, but I believe it's been said before. Guys are siding right now. I don't know, comment on the video or like it or whatever. I don't really know. I mean, I guess I will try to build up the YouTube following, but you guys know me, I'm not. But hey, like the video. do the thing. The Ice God vs. Necro is coming up. Still waiting on Otagon and Flocky. I pop into that game while they're siding just to make sure there's nothing weird going on. I didn't miss a report or something like that. It's still turned on, so I'll pop back into that one too. Totagon. Oh. Game 2 somehow. It's a long, grindy game, I suppose. Maybe one of them's a little bit slow, but how are they still in game 2? No idea. But so Christian went first, just set a monster. I know he's playing stuff like Magic Merchant. I'm not really sure if he's playing stuff like Raikou as well, but that's probably what everyone's thinking about. It can be hard to play against these decks that you don't really know what their exact contents are, so to speak. Because I think, like I said in game 1, you played around an Honest that I'm not even sure is being played. Another crazy mill, honestly. I mean, his deck is full of crazy mills. Like, this guy thinks he's playing 2 elements, but, like, I don't think this is supposed to happen. Even if you got a lot of crazy mills in your deck, that's a very good mill. So he has a level 8 2 different ways. He could sync with the monsters already on board, or he can sync with his Armed Wing. You know, it seems like okay, he's choosing not to do that. I mean, it can be very costly to stack with the Plague early in the game. You usually want to see all your draw steps and kind of use the Plague as a finisher. But these little guys are kind of vulnerable to Shura. So, I mean, at least putting a Colossal or a Stardust with the Armageddon and the Raikou would have been preventative against that. But he also didn't try to just run over the turn 1 set with the Shura. Kind of 50-50 sometimes whether people will do that or not. Because on one hand, you don't want to lose your Shura to Raikou, but at the same time, if you have Blizzard in hand, then it kind of becomes a favorable trade for you. So I don't really know if there's any read to be gained whether they had the Shura turn 1. It seems as though they didn't. It almost certainly would have gotten someone there. And now a Trunade coming down. And if this doesn't get immediately Solemn or Bribe, that's just game. Yeah. So, I mean, kind of an insane mill, but also just didn't really seem like had a competiton going on. But game 3. So after that, kind of back and forth, or at least like, you know, there was stuff going on in game 1. Game 2 just ends on turn what? Turn 2? Turn 3? Turn 3. Would have gone Flocky's. Thank you guys for tuning in, as always. This is our first stream and only our 2nd tournament ever. Basically just me running this all myself, but we're going to be building it out pretty soon to make it more streamlined, make it look a little nicer, you know, maybe get a little stream overlay, whatever you guys want to recommend for ways to trick it out and make it more fun. But it'll get there. You know, I have faith it'll get there. Maybe I'll post this stream a few other places, but just to really get on my like promotion shit, you know. Oh, Totagon won round 1. Awesome. So glad that finished up in a somewhat timely manner. 45 minutes timing the round, but hey, how it goes. Let's see. Totagon. So Totagon will be against ABPS in round 2. Takes over Flocky in round 1. Got to Flocky for playing both the tournaments, both Goat and Edison. Totagon against ABPS. Send me the replay as you should. So thank you for that, my boy. Sure, set 2, pretty solid. doesn't seem like at least there's a dust shoot, so he can at least get away with that. But Starlight really could be really crazy. Alex pitches the clue. It's kind of blown out there. He took the risk that he didn't have the clue, and he did have the clue, so maybe he has some follow-up on this, but I'm not entirely sure. Sometimes you just gotta risk it if your hand is not that good, and if they have it, they have it. So MST is gonna come down on the oppression, and then the wars is gonna get dropped. So that's kind of a good bait, I guess you could say, but at the same time, well, first of all, he didn't synchro again. So anytime they do that, you gotta kind of imagine that there might be an Icarus. Like if Icarus just gets chained here, huge blowout. And I guess you just have the Shura to deal with, and his deck is pretty efficient at putting big monsters on the board. But he doesn't have follow-up. I think he was just hoping that Trunade walked and there wasn't an Icarus down. You know, Kayla V was. And now, against these two back row, I don't know if any of these back row are real. Jar resolves though. Okay, so it's not really about the back row being real, it's about he set them to play through the jar. Oh my god. The jar looking like a bit of a blowout. If that is how it resolved, it'd be chainlink 1 Shura, chainlink jar. So maybe chainlink 1 jar is mandatory? Really sure. I think I'd have to figure this out after, but for now I'm gonna let rock. We're not sharking on the stream over here. I will look this after. Well, no, I guess Shura activates after, because the flip effect like Raikou will pop it beforehand. I get that. So he knew those were probably power spells, because that's like Christian's whole deck. So he just decides to, I'm not going to deal with it, I'm just get the game to even 5,000 life points lower than me, basically like he's a Cyber Stomp. And now I'm going to grind it out from here, and he still has his normal summon as well. But sure everything good with the boys in Discord. They're doing their thing, vibing, as are we on the stream. Yeah, the jar went fucking crazy. Kind of can't believe it. But yo, Eric, thank you, man. You can play in some other ones. We'll be hosting some other ones soon. Probably at least one a week at this point. One Goat, one Edison. Once I have a little bit of the only word that comes to mind is fan base, but I mean, once there's a community in place of people that want to play, then I feel like I can host them more often and be a little less hands-on. Because, you know, I definitely don't mind doing it. Like kind of managing all these tournaments for the first couple times, but I would love to get it to a point where I don't have to be quite so hands-on. But we're chilling. I mean, happy to see some good Edison being played. This is a really unique deck. I think the only reason I'm not more like shocked by it is because I looked at it when he sent it to enter. These are deck list locked tournaments, I guess, for lack of a better term. I'm already a little bit aware of cards going on. But under any other circumstance, I might be like, what the fuck? So, target, whether he wants to make like a level 6 to potentially turn his value on, or a Brionac. I mean, if he pitches a Sirocco here, that, oh, okay, so this just could be game. If he goes, Brionac mounts this. Yep, that's game. Okay, so there was glue anyway, so yeah, it was kind of guaranteed. But yeah, very cool deck. That jar went really crazy. And yeah, homie did his thing. That's definitely going to be interesting replay. Maybe I'll put that one up on the channel after. But I guess I can cut it out of this bot if I really want to. But yeah, Mr. Hydro Pump is going to win that round. Mark all that stuff down. But we can move on watching Indicate, one of our other winners last round. This is going to be Dragon Turbo against zombies. And Creation Prophecy item, raring to go. Andy Crow's on the kind of stuff going Indica's way right now. I think, yeah, thank you, Eric. Also, I just read your second message as well. Kind of doing 6 things at once. But yeah, thanks for the kind words. Yeah, I mean, I've kind of just been, my mindset on it is just like, I've been playing all these online tournaments, and playing these cash tournaments and stuff too. So I know, I think, what works and what doesn't work. I know what I want to see. That was definitely the goal when I, was doing the other Edison content too. But went our separate ways on that. But like, yeah, I definitely feel like there's a little bit of a void as far as just specific kinds of content that I'm interested in, that people like myself are interested in. So I'm glad you enjoy it as well. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna try and do more. I mean, like saying, I'm bumping it. See, I literally just don't know how to do that. I'm sorry, Mr. Backslash, Mr. Slash, but I literally just don't know how to do that. I will research how to do it for the next time, but I'm not gonna try to do it right now because I'm already, I don't know. People always are like, "Oh, I'm so technologically illiterate." I don't think I'm technologically illiterate actually, but I don't want to try to do it right now and don't want to mess anything up. But yeah, I apologize. I know that's kind of gross, kind of potato quality. But I will research it. We're gonna get there. This is the test stream. This is the vibes. This is the ambiance. The high quality fine tuning is gonna come next. Okay, so Base God also took the win. Over Necro. That is an upset because Necro is one of the best players. Just kidding. So Dice got against Hydro Pump, so they're already moving a little bit ahead. Dice got versus Hydro Pump. Start whenever, yeah. I am going to stick with this game, although I do want to look at that Totegon game. Because he's, I guess those are the players that I haven't really featured yet. But, oh, whoa. See, I'm slacking. I'm busy talking about this. I'm busy updating tournament brackets. Completely neglected to mention that this guy has multiple Vortex Troopers in his deck. This is game 3, but I have a hard time believing that they were sided in or out or something. But multiple Vortex Troopers. I'm just going to repeat, multiple Vortex Troopers. That's very crazy. A card you've basically never seen used in competitive play in Edison, but it's a really unique card. And I remember back in the day when this card came out, I thought it was super strong. Like how could it not be? It's like floater, just kind of easy draw one card, just like a card trooper. Obviously it can't go to 1900 attack, so it can't be aggressive, but it has this other effect that you shuffle 2 back and draw 2, so it's almost like a weird, like, graceful charity or something. Crazy hand filtration, basically seeing 3 new cards when you normally... Almost like a card D or something, and maybe that would be a better way to describe it. But it's just got weird typing too. It's like wind aqua. If it was a machine, you can machine dupe it. Maybe there'd be something there. But what it is a level 3 or lower. Well, it's a less than 500 attack, so you can debris it back into level 3. It lets you easily make black res. So I mean, this dragon deck also sometimes plays card trooper for that reason. So Vortex Trooper just has like more copies of that, as well as some ways to like unbrick yourself. Doesn't seem so bad to me. I don't know if it seems that good to me either, but you know, doesn't seem so bad to me. Now, Nico is going to have at least a chance to do something. And there's a few cards he can make under this Drago, like a Brianak or Boyo or Ionite, Flammable, or Aquesis. So it's really just almost every level 6 synchro, because he couldn't make Revive King there anyway. But he will have to clear that before he can do something like make a Colossal Fighter. Can make a Stardust, he can... Okay, so the Drago's just gonna get gotten rid of. There's no Warriors in either player's graveyard, so we'll be able to do the little Colossal trick where he just... Oh, okay, never mind. Maybe not even needed. Well, he needs to put another monster on board in order for it to actually be game, but... So this can... I'm not sure what this targets, because he already had a way to clear this. I guess this can make Stardust, main 2 or something? Or if he has somehow a Book of Life or another extender. But I don't think it's going to be game this turn, at least. And if that's the case, it almost makes me wonder if dropping the Dark... Well, I guess if he's bouncing the Drago back, then he knows that's going to block the Dark Arm, so... Okay, so he chains the Rejuve. I mean, that just literally doesn't matter, but... you never know. I guess if Indica were to play a card Destruction, then this card Ghost Rider's Dragon Monsters, then there's a chance that he would be able to trigger this, but it's pretty unlikely that it's going to be relevant. Just chaining it just to do it. With a 0% chance that there's going to be something else. So maybe this makes Stardust. And Colossal's 56. There's no more Warriors. You know, maybe if there was a world in which he could deal Ghost Rider down to 1,000 and put him out of instant fusion, it's like something to be done. But you just gonna hit him for a bunch of damage. He really, you know, I'm gonna say I think it was a little bit of a mistake to remove the dark. You could have just kept more darks for your pops next turn. I don't think you needed to. Like, you would have crashed the Colossal Fighter anyway. So I think that's a little bit of a mistake, but not a big one. Basically costs you a dark in the graveyard. Best player got sacked. I heard sad outcome. Yeah, Flocky did get sacked, so sorry for him. Easily one of the top players in Edison format that plays it very frequently. So seeing if Ghost Rider can mount. I mean, the one good thing about Drago for Indica's perspective is Ghost Rider can't normal summon it and banish it for Red Eyes. So he's gonna have to have another small dragon to normal summon, in addition to the Drago. And even if he does have the Drago, or I mean, even if he does have that, I mean, he's gonna have a hard time. Like, normally one of the ways the Dragon Turbo deck can deal with Colossal Fighter is you make something like a Red Eyes or a Blue Eyes White Dragon, and you put Drago on the field as well, and you attack over it. And that means that Colossal can't use its effect to revive. But since he doesn't really have enough like special summons to do that, it's gonna be really difficult. Now, So I think this is going to be a Crash and then main 2 Avarice play, which is a little sad if that's what he's always got, but not sure exactly what he can draw into here. Like maybe if he, it's really hard for me to, because he already burned his normal summon. He's too low for instant fusion. If he draws into like Treacherous Trap Hole, that's one of the only things that I could think of. But it's both pretty unlikely. Yo, 6 NNX, fun, love in my city. That sounds lit, but I'm going to have to block you. I do want to find fun in my city for sure, but maybe not that kind of fun, or maybe that kind of fun, but maybe not with whatever you're advertising. Yeah. So, like I said, maybe Treacherous Trap Hole, but I don't even know if they play it. Although I guess it could pop your own Vortex Trooper in a pinch. Vortex Trooper kind of queen, you know. So, Indicud is gonna move on. Yeah, the bread and butter combos that Dad and Pro are in fact too strong. So, I take it. That's gonna leave the winner of Dice God and Pleasure Pump. Yeah, up in the Indicud is waiting on ABPS and Totem. So let's go look at their match. Like I said, we haven't really watched too much of either of those guys. ABPS. Totem on Zombies and ABPS on, I believe, Fairy. They're in game 2. ABPS won game 1. So, you know, a lot of people I think would. Oh yeah, Vortex could have been a thing. That's why you're one of the best in the format, Necro. No, that's a good point. That's probably exactly what he was looking for. Because I was like, I don't think he actually plays Treacherous. Like I know some Dragon Turbo players do, but I don't think Ghost Rider does. I was kind of confused. Oh, this is a good trade. So you're just gonna maybe DD Warrior Lady, banish this Mizuki. Maybe a little bit like. Oh my god, he's gonna go through all of them and get DD Warrior Lady at the end, and then... Oh, he's just gonna... Does this get crowed? Wait, so he... Hold on, so he's gonna crash all these, and he takes 14 off the... Okay. But crashing Herald, I'm not entirely sure... Wow, and Crow is such a huge blowout here. You can't do that. You have to take battle damage. Yeah, he isn't taking damage. Yeah. It's just not what the I don't know what he's dodging about. What is? That would be crazy if it could work. This is my first, yeah, the first time playing this game, yeah. Literally. I mean, it's like, it's actually like not really that crazy to get confused about it, but imagine if drag worked that way, like, you could like attack them directly and then drop your own drag or something, like what the fuck? But yeah, I mean, this gets the Herald in Graveyard to get it back to hand, so I get it. Yeah, I mean, obviously he was just trying to drop the drag to get out ahead of that Christia. I'm kind of like wondering if this was even super correct though, because I almost feel like, is this just game? Well, he can't. I mean, if he has another monster, it is, but yeah, okay, that's game. I was gonna say if he had to rely on like Caius Burn, then they could have gotten Herald, but yeah, he just got smoked there. I mean, I kind of think that, because I think if he summons the Mizuki, then I'd be worried about something like Caius, you know? And you're gonna have to burn the Herald on the Kais anyway. So I would kind of be more inclined to like crash four recruiters, like Angel, Nova, Nova, Angel, and then get Warrior Lady and just banish the Mizuki, then Christia back one of the recruiters. Like having the Herald is super good protection, but when you're probably gonna have to burn it anyway, then it just kind of becomes a minus. Would people keep Crow versus Fairies game 2? I don't think so. I don't think Crow is particularly good game 2, but I mean, you never know. That's what I thought he was thinking about after he was like, when you crashed the Herald, when he was like making him pause. But, which would have been actually a super blood if you drop the Herald for free, and then you just get crowed. I mean, I guess that's like a marginal reason why Warrior Lady might have been better. But, I mean, yeah, it's kind of a classic problem that it comes up in a lot of decks, a lot of plays, I don't know, where like he was kind of going for like a full lockdown, whereas like he could have made like a better advantage play and then like probably ground him out with Christia, whether it like got outed or not. Like, so I don't know, not a huge fan of that, but at the same time he kind of just had the punish. Nope. Okay, so what we got here? Okay, so Alchemist. Didn't ask him about priority, so I don't think this is a set Torrential or anything. I feel like you would at least ask and try to use it. So, Goblin Search. See another Goblin, could see Zombie Master, Yuki Plague. It's literally like every target, but I think that there's literally a chance that we could see any of those here. Thinking. His match takes so fucking long. You'd be thinking. So I think if I'm correct me wrong, I don't think I've seen what Dice God is on. So be interesting. I know it's Blackwing, Hydropunk. But you're kind of seeing a normal representation of decks. Blackwing, Fairy, Zombie, you know. The classics. Or at least classics at this point. But it is kind of crazy because outside of Blackwing, I mean, none of those decks were popular in historical Edison. So it's definitely a brave new world out here. He comes. Oh. Now he's thinking about here. Thinking. Don't make me go play Warning in a free tournament, bro. Please. Please. Don't make me do it. It's always like this, bro. It's always as I type. This happened literally last night too. I was typing the guy's name in, and he finally just has to play. Like they know the axe is gonna fall on them, you know. Okay, so Allure, Banish Gores. Or it seemed like a pretty strong card, but okay. So he is on this psychic zombie version. Okay. Not favorable trades. I don't know if you use the effect. It could fuel return, but might also banish a power spell. I wouldn't necessarily risk it. And he doesn't. Makes Brianak. Now could fall into a Herald. Okay, so he's gonna use priority, probably with that Mizuki. Although he doesn't. Oh, he does have the Goblin, right? Okay. This is a card that's been set since. Be a Raiko or a Recruiter. So Hydro Pump also won yet again. So Hydro Pump is in the finals. You're just a monster when it comes to these tournaments, bro. Ice God is on Blackwing. Good to know. There's a Blackwing Mirror and Hydro Pump Victorious. Report score. He's got. So Hydro Pump. Bit of time here. Now AVPS is maybe taking a little too long, but I'll let him play. I mean, it's a free tournament. It's like, I think it would be kind of crazy for me to crack down on these guys unless they're being really ridiculous. But the winner of this will play Indica, and the winner of that will play Hydro Pump. We've got it all kind of lined up for us. Here, is he lagging? Okay, Mindcon. Okay, that's a pretty good one. And I mean, the classic play that people always talk about in these fairy decks is like Brianak, pitch all your fairies, Christia, and there is a world in which he could do that. He bounces his thing first, then he could bounce his own back row twice. I don't know if that's gonna happen. I mean, maybe is there a world that this OTK? Oh my god, he can pop his own thing with Freed. Oh. And he put the second light there. This guy's the best. This guy's the best in the world. Main 2. Yep. Very nice. Very nice. I mean, I guess he could have just bounced his own. Bounced the Brianak. Literally kind of the same result, but hey, you know, this sets up for return. Gets that back row out of the way so you can get a guaranteed direct shot with Freed. So I don't know. I think you could argue it's marginally better. You could argue it at least. But I hate that. It looks so cool, and then I thought more about it, and I was like, wait, is that even actually good? But I'm gonna choose to believe it was correct. I would love to believe it was correct. Okay, so we set 2 more back row. Maybe there's a Solemn down. Maybe it's just return. He's just gonna say, hey, I'm just killing you next turn. We're not playing any games here. But Totegon still has 5, and he has the Mizuki loaded. Didn't go for the Mizuki banished last turn, which is kind of interesting. You could have pressed for more damage with the Brianak and the Goblin Zombie, but I guess when you play zombies, you often want to save the Mizuki so that you can like Mizuki back something, normal summon a tuner, go off there. But like, if the Goblin just because it's your way to put a second guy on the board, in addition to your normal summon. So I can understand not wanting to use it. You do sets, I mean, if this is like a pyramid, you can stall out for a while. If this is a Reaper, even just Goblin Zombie into something is pretty nice. But Tactic, is he gonna compulse it? Battle Step compulse? Battle Step Sim, okay, nice. So Reaper would not be negated by this, but Goblin Zombie would. Pyramid Turtle will not, but I do like Sim in this position because it really shuts down his ability to go into bigger threats, you know? Like every time he syncs off with the Goblin now, he's not getting that surge. It really cuts off their advantage engine. Without a Dust Tornado or a MST Storm to clear it, which that's answering any back row. It really does a good job. You can get Pyramid. I mean, that also is a level 4 body. I mean, as I'm saying, Sim is good, but it's kind of limited in what it shuts off. But when you need it for a certain purpose, I think it's very strong actually. What Totegon's got now. This is a good game so far. Liked that free interaction, even though it was a little wonky. Used to believe it was clean. So just stalling out. I mean, at the end of the day, this is something zombies are very good at too, just stalling out. Maybe this is the Reaper. Okay, yep. But that does kind of mean that the targets Pyramid has are not incredibly useful. So like, Freed can kind of start to swing into them. He can get Zombie Master, which in turn can swing over the Freed, and he doesn't have the necessary lights engraved to pop the Zombie Master upon running over it. So he might wait on hacking into it. Kind of creates a stalemate where it's like maybe Totegon doesn't want to risk attacking and losing to a Mirror Force or Deep Prison or something. But if ABPS either doesn't have those cards or doesn't want to use them, then he might not risk it. But also, like, if he does attack into the Pyramid and he gets Zombie, and then Totegon's either draw for turn or one of these cards that are lurking, like an MST, that's a huge blowout, because then he kind of just gets the Zombie Master for free. But Mizuki's still engraved, by the way. Still engraved. This can also get Plague, I suppose, because that's another big play that could come out here. But any of that, you're kind of risking these back row. Any play that Totegon makes is risking the back row, and without clearing the Sim, you're probably going to expend 2 cards, or at least 2 resources, whether it's like Mizuki plus something, into the back row. So, AZ, I see you. See you, bro. And so we're kind of just stalled out here. I mean, that's one of the things that both these decks low-key do best. Like, they can clock you really fast and have, a lot of tricks, advantage engines, negates with Herald, like OTK plays with Zombie, Brainiac, but at the end of the day, they can also just stall out with like Recruiters, Reaper, GD War Ladies, like all this type of stuff. So they can shift in game plan really in a really versatile way. How does Totegon win here? I mean, he stalls out until he finds Storm, or maybe Storm plus Solemn. I think that's realistically what we're doing. I mean, you could kind of say the same thing, like, EVPS, like, how is he going to get through this? Like, he can wait on his DD Warrior Lady, he can wait on his, like, Herald Tuner plays, I think that's kind of real, his Raikos. So, I mean, don't get me wrong, he has a lot of stuff that he's drawing to, but, I don't know exactly how much of that he's sided in or out. I know at some point, I've seen some Fairy players siding Soul Taker. That could also be a pretty useful card here. But bear in mind too that after he deals with these, the Mizuki can bring back one of the Pyramids. I guess overall though, I would agree with you that I would think that ABPS is in a kind of a better spot, just because he's drawing to more. Whereas like Potagon has a very, I think, specific set of things that's going to break through this board. Not to mention potential like Honest to protect the freed, or call it Heralds. And so Dust Tornado looks kind of random, but I think that given the way that that card's been set a really long time, so I think that the way or actually no, that was the card that I think got bounced back from the Brionic. So there is some information on it. The Dust Tornado's there. I mean, you would think that there's probably some follow-up play coming, but if it's the case that one of Totagon's win cons is like Storm Solemn, then maybe he's trying to preemptively hit Solemn. Unreal Tournament? I've never played that game, but I don't know, I just threw on some random like trance YouTube memes. Thank you. You just take it as a compliment. So I'm gonna do my whole little plug right now. So thank you guys for tuning in. This is almost the semifinals of a little 16-man tournament, invitational perhaps you could call it. That's our first Edison tournament that I've hosted on this channel, on this platform. I'll be doing some more in the future, but this was basically a free to enter tournament, and the winner gets a Primeval Planet Perlereino, which is a $50 card. Pretty nice card used in current top tier deck. And yeah, just invited a bunch of friends, a bunch of like current players ended up joining, and just happy to host these tournaments. And we did Goat one last night that Dale Bolito played in and won, and that was really fun. And I'll drop the link in the chat so you guys can join. This is the link to the Discord. And, you know, I definitely still a little bit bootleg. We're still getting everything set up. But it's getting there. And, you know, the idea is there. So, okay, so Windblast on maybe the Herald, right? Like, because you're trying to prevent a Brionic from coming down, maybe. But if ABPS has his own Solemn, did he target? Okay, yeah, he has his own Solemn. Okay, so there might be a world here in which like he ends up risking Trag, but if he goes Sync off for 2, that puts 2 fairies in grave, and he could discard 2 more fairies to bounce. So I'm still confused about what this is also. You could discard 2 and then drop Christia, and that would just be game. But it needs to be specifically 2 more fairies. So this, and now when he gets the zombie, okay, fair. Okay. The 1 fairy, and that could have made another sync. So I think he's going for game here, because this could have put down on the field and made another synchro. Yeah, it's got to be just 4 fairies. Drop Christia, big setup, big game. Got it? Got it, bro? Oh, no, he doesn't have it? Okay. So Gorz or Trag does block. Is this correct if he does have the Trag? I mean, banish the Gorz. Yeah, good thing I have Gorz, haha. I mean, yeah, if he would Trag on this first one. Maybe he had a... Maybe he had Honest or something to get over the Trag if it was dropped. That might be the case. Yep. Well played from ABPS. See, I knew I liked this guy, bro. Knew I liked this guy. I don't know what about him. I just fucking with the vibes. But yeah, took that match pretty well. Yeah, the Mirror Force. So actually, he was pretty insulated if he tried to do that Pyramid Crash type stuff. But yeah, just set it up, set up the return, get the right back row. Nice, well played. I don't know how well the sim really did, but yeah, exactly, because the freed play. That's kind of what I was thinking too, but nice, you know, clean. Where I saved this one in the damn archives, the damn rule sheet. But yeah, he played super well. I like that. Love to see people play well, you know? hate to see people play bad, on the other hand. No bad plays. If you play bad, you're going to get banned from future tournaments. I'm sorry. Just the way it is. So it's going to be ABPS versus Indicud, and another zombie versus fairy. Versus Indicud. Good. Brain gun really have to play 8. Just talking about that match. Yeah, that was a great game. So yeah, Indicud versus ABPS. And we'll see when they're hosting. Okay, so we're waiting on Indicud versus ABPS. I mean, I don't mind this guy taking a couple minutes. Is this their music or DB music? Not my music, it's a YouTube video that I found. And I wouldn't even say this is particularly by shit, but it seemed like decent background music. But thank you guys for watching. We're still kicking. This is semifinals now, I guess I would say. And hope you like. And I'm gonna put up the VOD of last night's tournament as well. Sadly, I couldn't stream it, but I did get the replays and stuff. So the finals last night was actually crazy. It was Dale Bolito, you know, obviously one of the best players of all time, against WowWink, who's a great online player, but WowWink was using a Darkmaster Zork ritual deck, like no cap, and he beat the same. It was the same structure as this, you know. It was 3 or 4 rounds, to win the tournament, and he was just smoking everybody with his Darkmaster Zork deck, like no cap. Oh god, they were already playing and I wasn't even paying attention. Oh my god, no one told me. It would take a minute to start. So it seems like the Raikou probably milled these 3 cards, which is kind of insane. The MST is probably traded, but we're still on like turn 3. Okay, so book trades. That's usually a pretty good trade for the fairy player. Like, it's kind of like a pseudo Forbidden Lance, but your monsters are so like well protected when they're face down anyway that it almost like it's like Lance for 2 turns, you know? That's my new theory on the matter. Book is good because it's Lance for 2 turns. But yeah, no, book is super good against those battle traps because your monsters are so resilient. I guess kind of a reason for, I guess like the reason that zombies don't use book as often is also like they're just kind of less battle oriented in general. Like with fairies, you need these recruiters to resolve to set up your Christias and like get the cards you want, so like protecting them is super useful. But with zombies, you just never really have to attack with your recruiters anyway, and you have kind of inevitability because you can eventually go for Goblin Plague, you know, Diva, whatever, and like you can just leave all the guys on the board and never attack. Whereas like Fairy deck doesn't quite have that same engine built in. But I mean, I think you could totally see book becoming a little more popular in zombies as well, especially if it's like in these types of like mirrors. Like if it's like zombie against fairy and they're both playing a bunch of deep prisons, then book looks like a pretty good card, you know. Also just turns off the Resolve Christia, stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, book is like a card you like love to hate, you know. All right, so book life on Mizuki. Banish either the Angel or the Alchemist. You gotta do a little mental math in your head of which would be worse for them to get off return, which would be worse for them to get off call. So if this gets heralded, that's a big swing, but I don't think he's got it. Oh, he does have it. Oh my god. Big swing, big swing. Card is so messed up. Even in current, it's so messed up. It's just like it's kind of, I guess it is high roll. Like it's because you're gonna draw it dead, but it's just so powerful when it resolves because they just never see it coming. You can't really prepare for it. I don't know. Definitely used a lot of resources. Like pitching the Christie is probably not super ideal, but at the same time, a Book of Life and a Caius, and it's not like he got value out of the. Like if you attribute it for a goblin, you would say that's probably a fair trade, you know, or a trade in Indica's favor. But okay, so Raiko, which he held for a turn, if I am correct. So maybe he was waiting to like try to snipe a pyramid or something like that, or just waiting till he had an aggressive normal summon. You can do this. I mean, Drag can't get dropped here, so does Drag get dropped here, or does Gores get dropped here? Okay, Gores, pretty big. I mean, also, well, two things. I mean, ABPS has 4 fairies now, so any Christia draw is looking kind of scary. Although this Nova might go to grave and then have 5, but also ABPS is relatively low resources at this point, so the chances that he's going to be able to deal with like a Gores that can also just stay in defense mode. I guess that's also what I'm kind of trying. Oh, very quickly proving me wrong, but I was just going to say, like, how is Fairy going to get over 2 relatively large defense monsters? He didn't have the Honest there, so I guess we're good. Should have gone. I do not think you're 2 cheeks with the zombies. I think that your opponent played very well. I think you both played well. Okay, so he's the Freed. Freed kind of going crazy. Never mind. I've just been wrong left and right. I thought there's no way they can deal with the big monster. Wrong, yet again. Yeah, who needs anything? Gores just outs both the, or Free just outs both the Gores and the token, so easy. And the Pyramid, which doesn't get killed by Nova. Now we're kind of in a similar position to last game, where but in this case there are enough fairies in grave, so you can't really get Zombie Master off this during ABPS's turn. He would probably have to get a Reaper, or maybe a Goblin Zombie just to continue his train of advantage. But the Mizuki in Graveyard, there's plays definitely for Indica. 3 cards is kind of a lot, and there's 1 back row, 1 card in hand that we're pretty sure is not Honest, is not looking too threatening. So even if he had to pass in like super worst case scenario, I don't think that would be that bad. But I think he can put something together. Like he could, for example, go Crash Pyramid into Nova, get Goblin, Goblin search Plague, Mizuki back the Goblin, normal summon Plague. I don't know. I guess that would all be main 2s, so you'd just be losing to Freed. But this is also looking kind of good. You can make 2 level 6s here. I could threaten to attack over the Freed. It might be risking force, but he could also make something like Thought Ruler if he really wanted to. I mean, he's gonna have to be careful because the back row could be pretty punishing depending on which route he takes. So this is kind of one of those cases where you gotta be like, all right, well, if there's only 1 Mirror Force, but there's like 2 Deep Prisons, you know, just doing some mental math like that and figuring out which is the best line. I mean, he can go Brionac bounce the back row as well, and then I guess he gets a guaranteed kill. Oh god, this is good. This is good. This is good. So is this just game then? If he... I think this is gonna be lethal because he can go... Is it? Because he can go Brionac on the back row, Pyramid Crash for Zombie Master. I mean, sync Synchro first for Goyo, Pyramid Crash, get Zombie Master, and then just short, I think. I think it's just short if he does all this. It would be 11 Goyo over the Breed. Breed. 23, yeah, it'd be 52. That's kind of the most he can do, even with a crash thing. But he could also crash for a Reaper here. Like he can go sync for Brionac, bounce the back row, Mizuki back the Pyramid, crash Pyramid, get Reaper. Or you can just do this, I guess. But I see this is the most vulnerable to Mirror Force, but I mean you are using an extra card in your hand to do that Brionac play. Okay, so yeah. Does get Mirror Force, Jesus. So now, but see, this is just leaves him in a bad spot because you can't even really make a Synchro main 2. Because the Freed is just gonna pop it. So, I mean, he can leave the Pyramid in defense for sure, but yeah, that was, I mean, I don't know, it's hard for me to imagine that there wasn't a line there that played around that to some degree. I mean, whether it was the Brionac, I don't know, but maybe just making a Stardust or, yeah, I don't know. Or just swinging with the 1 level 6 and leaving the Pyramid in defense, I think is a line. Oh god, that's a really good draw. Or whether he had an hand, I don't know. But banish the Pyramid. Basically keeps him out of resources. But not going for Brionac there also makes me think that this might be, I mean, the dad is gone. I'm not really sure what Indica would have been holding in hand that I thought was so valuable. Also, the Deep Prisons are gone from him too, so his outs to Deep Prison and Mirror Force, his outs to like onboard threats are pretty limited. Can he get anything going here? And as I was saying before, I mean, any Christia draw is just like basically game ending. Setting a Reaper would kind of stall him out. Use basically all his power cards. I mean, he's got milled, I guess, but what is he gonna do? I mean, he's high enough life, so there's gonna be a few turns. See, like 17, like he's, I mean, I said he's a few turns, he has 3 to 4 turns? I don't know. Okay, Burial. I mean, Burial gets Mizuki, which is really just a blocker. He can put, if I were him, I'd probably put back these extra fairies. Christian Alchemist? Yeah. You could seize what I see. I mean, I guess you could not put back the Christia for worry about call, but I don't know. I think I might put back both. I guess if he has Soul of Purity, then we would get right back down to 4, but like, I don't know. Still not sure about that. I mean, that's a super marginal thing, whether you want to put back 2 or just 1 fairy, but either way, I think it's a good call to put back some amount of fairy there. That's something that I think people overlook when you activate Burial for less than 3 of your own cards. It can usually be good to put back, you know, 1 of theirs to put them off Darkground, put them off Christia, something like this. He's gonna try to swing with this. If this just gets answered with an Honest or a Battle Trap, then oh, okay, doesn't happen. And he could have just sat on that and tried to get Reaper, but now, I mean, if he has a live discard, then this is going to be a pretty good setup where he can get back the Pyramid, and he also doesn't have to do that to risk the oppression, but I'm not sure exactly what. Could be a second Bottomless. Not sure. I mean, if he was gonna do this, it almost makes more sense to me to put back both fairies, right? Because, I mean, not only are you taking him off return a little bit, like, you know, it's less damage to Christia back to return. But okay. Oh wow, and he had to poke back his own. Damn, did he just set his own return? That's about to be crazy. But yeah, like if he knew he was gonna try to attack her with a freed, then next turn, like if he does have soul purity, he could still banish these and get back down to 4. Whereas like if you gave him back the extra fairy, then well, I guess you could banish those. Never mind. Either way, with soul, he's getting back down to 4. Yeah, so I guess if soul is doing it either way, then giving him less targets in grave is probably good. Then it's like a return versus call question. I don't know. I'm hyper fixating on burial in this situation, but okay, so that's gonna draw. Fire Valley kind of a clean card, not gonna lie. Like, I don't necessarily love it in this fairy deck, but sometimes I've been playing a Machina deck with using it, and it's just like it's a very safe card. Okay. So, I mean, if he does have return, there's certainly a play here. Like, get back all these 4, Valley banish Raikou, draw 2, Christie can swing over this, Warrior Lake. Oh god, okay, alright. We're out. And for that reason, I'm out. Yeah, I mean, this has just been well played by AVPS, to be honest. Yep, so that's gonna hit that. Oh wait, we honest over this. Okay, yeah, sure. Yep, it's exactly 42. Nice. Nice. So the winner of this is gonna play against Hydro Pump, who is on Blackwing. So we're gonna see Fairy, Blackwing, and Zombie. Not so surprising. Definitely some of the stronger decks in the format. Still maybe a bit sleep on the Fairy, but they do be doing their thing. And siding. Okay, so set 1. Almost on Nova. And the good thing is this crashes with Pyramid, so you don't get the trigger. But, okay. I'm like, not that bad for either player, because if you're Indica, yeah, you want to clear the recruiters. But then you're also not hitting the back row. Those are awful mills. Both games just kind of gotten milled a lot of the power spells. I know actually for this tournament, he had specifically been saying you wanted to try Raikou in the zombie deck, and I have to feel like after this game in particular, even though it's totally biased, he's gonna be like, nah, it's not it. Let's see. So Alchemist, Solemn. Now we mill some zombie, but also mill the brain. We have light dark now, because I think he does play Chaos Sorcerer. Okay, just endless stream of bodies to summon. Kind of what the deck does best. Get this third Raikou. Okay, it's hamster, so. Does have the third Raikou. It's just like generic good card back and forth. So he's probably just thinking about which he's going to pop with his Raikou, and also then like, what's the follow-up, right? Because if he goes like, okay, so he has the MST, so he doesn't need to, yeah, this probably not going to be game, but huge swing, because probably going to be the Raikou pop. Sure. I mean, is this getting Brianak? Like, yeah, okay. He says, wait, hold on. He's gonna put the Diva in defense. I mean, I think that's fine. That's kind of what I was thinking anyway. Like, you're probably gonna. Okay, yeah, I was thinking if he had this too, could be the option, because this is why he wants to keep the Raikou set basically, so it can answer a back row next turn. Though I'm not entirely sure if this is fully correct, but work kind of well. Yeah, this can also make a level 8, and it answers Gores pretty well because you can just Raikou main too. I'm really not entirely sure about all this, because I could have also just, well, I don't know. I'd say maybe Raikou the back row before all this, but this looks pretty clean. Keeping the Raikou set is nice. The only thing I guess that really lets you come back here if you're AVPS is like Brain, and then Diva, you know, and that would honestly be really good, because you could Brain, take Stardust, or sorry, Goyo, take Stardust, then Diva, you know, get some stuff going for sure. Other than that, though, it's pretty hard to get out of it because I guess you can crash to like 2 times into the Stardust, and you'd be at 100 life points, and potentially put yourself at 4 fairies in grave. But okay, does have the brain. Oh my god. So yeah, I mean, I see that. Yeah, so we can crash this for Herald, Goyo attack over the Stardust, main phase 2 for like his own Stardust, double Stardust. Oh yeah, so we can't crash twice because brain, sure. But yeah, I think that's a pretty good line. And you could even like, yeah, I don't think there's much reason to attack with Herald here. I think you'd want to just main 2 Stardust. That makes sense to me. Like, you're basically just keeping his Stardust as another body. Although I guess you kind of get blown out by Caius if you do it like this. But if you, I mean, you get getting blown out by Caius anyway, because if the Herald swings over his Raikou, then you still have to negate with his Stardust. Gets it back. Also, this could set up for Christie, right? Like, if you go Stardust... Oh, you do attack? But aren't you popping Herald here? I'm pretty sure you pop Herald. Then he gets the Goyo back. I don't think yeah, I don't think this is right. I think you're supposed to just make Stardust. And then, like, your Stardust can negate his. Or, sorry, your Stardust can negate his Raikou. Not really seeing... Off Goyo. I mean, he leaves the Herald phase up, I guess. Like, so that he could potentially swing over it. And it doesn't put 4 in grave. But then he negates it. I mean, if he just makes... If he has Christia, then I guess this is better, yeah, sure. Then he just goes Stardust Christia and that Stardust doesn't come back. So yeah, I mean, maybe this is correct if he has Christia. Which is kind of a crazy swing. Like so he had Brain, Recruiter, Christia. Is that I'm taken? I guess you also can just make Colossal here, but the thing is, like, he gets back his Stardust, and then you're losing to Caius the same way. But the whole point, I feel like, to clearing the Raikou is buffering yourself a little bit against Caius. But you just don't, because it's coming back. Hot Ruler. Back row. Oh yeah, nope. Nope. Christia. Yeah, not sure. I have a hard time believing this is better than leaving yourself with double Stardust and then having the right. Does it have the Caius, but what is it? Any target's Thought Ruler, because yeah, you don't need that. I mean, I guess yeah, you're losing to Caius anyway for multiple reasons, because you just can't prevent the burn damage. So okay. Alchemist. That's crazy. You kind of had the perfect out for that board that Indic had set up. But then he just still lost. Okay. MST, MST. Yeah, I mean, post board seems like these guys both have some amount of... Okay, yeah, that was just to type the MST or the Destinato. Makes sense. Sometimes the fairy deck or a lot of these kind of decks can have a lot of redundancy, so the Death Shoot doesn't necessarily help a ton. In this case, like, he has already kind of two good normal summons, both Shining Angel and Thunder King. Because it's Storm, Shining Angel, Thunder King, Freed, and Brain. So I don't know if you necessarily just go in with the Angel here. I think you probably just swing and maybe set Angel, but just doesn't feel like Dust Shoot hurts this type of deck as much as it does one that's like relying on their one starter, you know? That's kind of a cool card to banish because, well, I guess if the Alchemist ever died, then you would be able to get back another piece of interruption. But, yep, just the Angel getting set, and you didn't press with both. I mean, this Angel can get the Alchemist, so you can Alchemist loop yourself or whatever. But I think there's probably no reason to flip this in attack here. You have the Storm in hand, so you know Indicate is kind of pinned under this one back row. So you could wait and farm it and go off when you need to. Not really under any pressure until then. Oh, okay, never mind, I'm wrong. Guess I'm wrong. I mean, maybe it's some kind of situation where it's like you could argue that Indicate knows there's Storm, like, isn't gonna set his only other D prison or something into the Angel. Like, maybe there's some kind of argument there, but it's also one of those things that, like, now you're vulnerable to Brain Con. So I don't know. It feels a little bit more exposed, but I guess you're pressing. Crag could be a card, but doesn't seem like he has it. And pretty good for APS. If this is the Storm, yep, okay, yep. Not so surprising, but I feel like that really frees up a lot for Indicate. Like, have a feeling you're kind of sitting on multiple back row here. Now he could like set 3 now that the Storm's gone. Seems a little risky to set the Storm there. Like, yeah, it could have set up for a 2-for-1, but there's a decent chance that this could be something like a Destinato, and I just don't think it was necessary, so to speak. So he does set 2, not 3. Breaker. That do be a card. Although this guy's playing 40. He said fuck the legacies. But he kept a lot of the Pro Storm stuff, but he said fuck the legacy. We're honestly making pretty good time though. I mean, this is almost over. Or I don't know, it's game 2, right? But game 3. But and then one more match after this, so we'll probably be done by 9. Yeah, I just like it. I like it when it's quick, you know? Like, we're all sitting here, we're all just gonna grind it out, and then we're done. We move on. We like commit to playing Yu-Gi-Oh for 3 hours, then we're done. You know? Done to the next one. I like that vibe. So The swung over a set zombie master? No? That's really what happened, right? Not crazy? Damn, he's just stripping all his resources out. Yeah, I think he was planning on using that book on the zombie master. But like, what is his hand? His hand is just complete ass. So confused why you would choose to set a zombie there. Okay, well at least hamster. Maybe, I mean, he's resolving hamster now, so maybe it's like he set the zombie master to try to bait like a remove, like what, like a knock, like specifically knock. Not too much go for him if that's the way you're thinking about this. You really did set it, right? Like, my eyes aren't deceiving me? Like, that was the play, right? Fucking confused. Like, it was to set up the book, for sure, but... Is that even that clear? Like, I guess maybe if he has... Alright. If he has a tuner in hand, and so he's gonna book a life back the thing. Use the tuner and try to run over the angel, etc. But then you draw the hamster the following turn, then maybe that's like changes. You don't want to do that. That's why you set the book, you set the hamster, and then you get dusted anyway, so whatever, but that might be I guess also like he was getting low on life, so maybe setting the... Well, he was at 52 though, because he didn't know he was gonna have to hit. Mill book. Yo, he keeps milling all the spells. I mean, mill another zombie. That's kind of real, but what happens now? Like, okay. I mean, this is good because even if you get heralded, yeah. But the thing is, he has freed brain, which is literally lethal. Like, freed Pop Kaya's brain on hamster, switch to attack. I don't know if he's gonna go for that because it does lose to most traps, but at least freed banish the Caius. Or you could literally do, actually what's probably kind of, I mean, safer, I guess, in a way. You go brain on the Caius, back over the hamster, main phase 2, freed it. Okay, he just says no, you don't have anything real. Yeah, he set the wrong book, Hydropump, I agree with you. He misread it. Oh, I'm bad. Can go back. Oh, so he just... Okay, he doesn't have 2 lights engraved. Oh, never mind. I'm tripping. We're all tripping. That's nice of Indicate. He's a kind soul. Alright, so never mind. He doesn't have a good play as I thought. That's crazy because this guy played so clean up until this point and then makes like what otherwise would be like a game-losing throw. I mean, if they asked me, I wouldn't let him take it back, but if Indicate wants to let him, that's fine. That's really crazy though. This game really do be mentally taxing because you can just be like so on point and you just do one big fuck up and it like immediately costs you the match. I fully believe that would have cost him the match if it happened. Let's see. So, I mean, he could set a recruiter here. Yeah, I mean, this is... This is game, if it all successfully resolves, he brain acts the monster, and then he makes Colossal, and Colossal is 29, so it's exactly... I don't know, it doesn't really matter, but he... Yeah, sure. Actually, this makes sense. We'll leave the... In case this gets heralded, then you... But yeah, Colossal would be 29, so it's 53 exactly with the Kai's. Don't know if there's a Gorz, don't know if there's a Herald, but you know that one of the cards in hand is Brain. I believe. From... The last card was Plague, too. Yeah, I do think that's what he was setting up those turns prior. Please tell me he sees the Colossal is gonna be... Oh my god, this fucking guy. Fucking guy, bro. I felt it in my bones. I was like... The way he did that Diva thing, I was like, oh man, he doesn't see it. But you know he has Brain! Right? Right, you know he has Brain. Am I wrong? Freed Brain. Storm Shining doesn't... Like, isn't that just game? Big pitch. I'm tripping? I feel like it's like one of these situations now. This guy's sitting here, he's like, there's no way this guy just let me do that. Into it, and then... Wait, no? Oh, because he's at 4. Oh, I'm stupid. I'm stupid. Haha. He didn't have enough life to bring. But he also could have just killed him. I also think like Colossal's better into Gorz there, right? Like he Gorz is on the Caius, and then you cross it over the... Yeah, okay, but I was tripping about the Brain thing, yeah. Yeah. I think the thing is, if he has Gorz, you just lose anyway, because the Gorz is going to come down, and he is going to have enough life to Brain, no matter what you make. But, I mean, at the end of the day, good on Indicud, good on ABPS. Y'all both played pretty clean, I guess. Pretty clean, even though the last couple turns are kind of blundered, but that's the vibes. Alright. Get this replay. Hydro Pump and Indicud will be the final match, the finals of the tournament. Very fitting, very accomplished Edison players. Mark this down. It wins. Hit the go. And Hydro Pump. So I'm gonna take a quick bathroom break, and I'll be back during this finals. But I'm talking like it's not 5 minutes. Are they already hosting yet? Okay. Be right back, guys. Okay, we're back. Fill me in, boys. I see there's a whirlwind. There's an allure. I can kind of piece things together. And then I guess glue is the search. I see you guys in the chat also chiming in 400 life points, yes. I pieced it together. I figured it out. Okay. Did you not search glue? Someone tell me in the chat. I would have thought maybe it was second blizzard or maybe it was Gale. I guess I'm just naming literally the options, but I think usually glue would be the line. So I mean, anytime you're just not able to immediately answer the whirlwind, feels pretty bad. And that set is not, you know, a bottomless or an MST. So regardless of what he searched, I mean, he clearly had some kind of option there as a follow-up summon, chose not to do it. I think there's a chance he set an Icarus there just to like get more value if the summon was blocked. I think this, oh, okay. All right, fair enough. But not wanting to risk his summons into the back row, I guess. But it's like every turn you're not summoning the whirlwind is kind of not getting value. Usually you're just kind of like trying to press the summons through, like even if they bottomless the first one, like you'll draw into another one, you know. So interesting from Indica to conserve his resources. I've noticed, you know, Blackwing, a lot of Blackwing players will play that kind of scenario differently. Like people will even hold their whirlwinds for a turn or two. There's situations where they know they can resolve like a chain of multiple searches uninterrupted. So pretty interesting because like obviously a lot of you know, less skilled or less thinking players will just like whirlwind, Blackwing, like okay, you have the stop, no, I'll search, or like yeah, you do have the stop, oh that's bad luck, I'll just try to do the same thing again next turn. Whereas like I think better players are actually trying to set it up in such a way that yeah, can resolve multiple searches. But haven't seen any follow-up here. Kind of confused with what Hedgerump could be drawing. I mean, maybe Sirocco, right? Like, yeah, sure. Usually when a Blackwing player isn't doing anything for a couple turns, Sirocco is a pretty safe thing to assume. They got stuck in hand. Alright, search. Like, sure, like, because, again, like, if he had gotten stuck on not having that many follow-up summons, like, Shura seems like a pretty good one. This could be a Raikou or a Hamster from Indica, which could, over one of these two turns, let him deal with the whirlwind. But okay, we're just gonna go straight for Blizzard. Okay, so this could be for a star, right? But Indica could also have a D prison set or Solemnir. Okay, that's also 3 darks. Yeah, okay, yeah. Kind of knew it was coming. PT, I mean, this is just going to block the Stardust damage. He did use the effect, so banished 1. Doesn't really matter. He banishes the Sirocco. Why would you banish the Sirocco? Over the Gale, though? I mean, this gives you 2 options with the Blizzard you have, but this kind of cuts off your value, so I don't know about that. Like, how likely is it that you're going to Blizzard back to Gale? It seems like Blizzard for Boar is way more likely for you to do next turn. Especially with like the Reaper being banished. Yeah, I think banishing the Gale seems more correct to me. Unless he's playing something like Dark Eruption, but I don't think he is. So, I mean, this is presenting lethal. And kind of pinned, right? Because, I mean, I guess you have the... Okay. There might be something, right? Because you can Mizuki back the pyramid, have this... potentially Black Rose main too. Like, you can just go for everything, right? Like, you could have this Mizuki back pyramid, crash the pyramid, get Goblin, swing over with Gale. I mean, I think you kind of have to do something like that at this point, because if you have Mirror Force, you probably lost the game anyway. So, but it's also really unlikely to me that this, you know, fully resolves, I guess I would say. But yeah, he's doing it right. He understands. I mean, a deep prison on either one of these guys is gonna get nasty, but you could also... Yeah, no, I think it's just Goblin. Yeah. Oh, it worked! Okay, but is there a road or is there a Solemn? I mean... Yeah, okay. And you could even consider Solemning the Gale there, right? I guess it gives you, like, some weird stuff like Brain. That could be an out, like Brain on Dark Arm, swing over the Stardust type shit. But it also lets you probably keep the Stardust. Threaten lethal next turn. Oh! Yo. Alright, maybe we're doing this. Maybe we're really doing this. Shit. Okay. No, I like it. I like it. I mean, there's Blizzard, though. There is the Blizzard. And see, if you kept a Sirocco, too, right? Aren't you just... Well, I guess you're 50 off lethal, technically. But still, like... I mean, you have two good options here, because you could Armed Wing over the Sork, or just... I guess you Goyo it. I guess that's the real net play. Never mind. The value would... You would search a value off the Blizzard, so maybe you want to Armed Wing. But no, I mean, I think it's Goyo. For sure, it's Goyo. But, like... Yeah, just the fact you're gonna get the value... I don't know. Kind of makes me sauce about banishing. Okay, okay. Well, you do this? I guess if you have Kalu... Sure, you have another Sirocco in hand, you bounce the Whirlwind, sure, whatever. I mean, yeah, I was thinking about that too, that could be a reason, but like, it makes you have to do this now, and if you get punished by Wars or Trag, then, you know, that's an extra card you don't have anymore. I'm not really sure that all is correct, but like, obviously he has the Clue. I don't think he's doing this true. Oh, because he has Icarus? Okay, so we can play around one of them. Okay, okay. Never mind. Checks out, checks out, checks out. I like it. I mean, he still didn't need to manage the first Sirocco, but he doesn't really matter. Alright, so Black Wings take it. Thank you guys for vibing, by the way. And a nice little stream. Tight-knit community, if you will. We're gonna do better next time. The vibes will be increased next time. And this is almost over. Tournament number, I guess technically 2, but number 1 for Edison. Tournament number 1 in the books. Hydro Pump versus Indica, 2 classic guys, classic titans of the format. Indica coming off of second place at his the RBT Rulers tournament, aka Edison Worlds, aka tournament I did very badly at, but we're chilling. From the Blackwing perspective, I think you're probably boarding in stuff like Crows, maybe Deep Prisons. I can't remember if Hydro Pump had the Deep Prisons mained or not, but stuff like Deep Prison could come in. Also Floodgates, like if you're not maining the Royal Oppression, I think that could be a good card to bring in. But interestingly, Indicate has a lot of stuff like Raikou that can give you a kind of more resilient game plan against some of those Floodgates. From Indica's perspective, I think in one of the other matches we saw a Snowman Eater. I would imagine that's coming in. Just more stuff like Dust Tornadoes, 7 Tools if he's got it, you know, and just a classic like combo against aggro matchup. Here we go. Starting game 2. A simple T set. Bad. Let's see. Thinking. You do be thinking. Could be thinking about the stuff I said before, like how early you want to risk those whirlwinds, how much you want to risk those summons. Thinking. Do be thinking. Just straight pass. I mean, this deck doesn't usually play cores. Like, yeah, I know the Blackwing decks have been playing cores a little more recently, but still, it's like not super common, and it doesn't seem like the build that Hydro Pump is on is super likely to play it, but no problem winning. I mean, I'm just kind of doing this as an exercise for myself also, just to like get back in the rhythm of doing it. It's been a while since I've streamed something, but I appreciate you as well. So I only see a set monster, but it's still pretty slow to develop. I mean, I think it's reasonable to expect that like this first one might be a Raikou. But where we go from there. Sorry, I just wanted to check my stream audio was still fine. Yeah, I mean, these guys are just kind of vibing it out. Yeah, I mean, the vibe that, like, once they didn't flip the turn prior, I think you could suss it out that it was a Raikou. Hit it with a value, trade off. I mean, you get a zombie engrave, snowman. Mills the call. Call's kind of an iffy card in this matchup because I always feel like since it requires a turn of setup, like you're always gonna, it can easily end up getting Icarus. But you know, it can be a late game power card, so it kind of sucks to mill. But like milling the zombie is very good. Makes your Buck of Life live into the value. But Blizzard main 2 takes the thing out of the grave for the value. Yeah, they'll just hamster, flip, get the Raikou. I mean, I'm just weirded out because like no back row from Hydro Pump, so either you're sitting on like a bunch of summons that you're trying to set up, or you could have these kind of power cards like Dark Arm, Brain Control, that Indicate wasn't necessarily giving you an option to use. I mean, it'd be kind of weird if he collutes this, but yeah, I mean, the only thing that I can think of is like Storm, Brain, maybe Whirlwind, or maybe another Blizzard or something like that. You know, it could be one of those really bricky hands with like multiple Blizzard value. And then like, if you have Whirlwind on top of that, you wouldn't necessarily want to summon it as a... You wouldn't have anything to search if he just plays one value. But kind of having a hard time imagining what else it would be. So Cyber Dragon comes down. Kind of weird card. I mean, you know he has the Raikou Hamster, so I guess that makes sense why you would have the Cyber Dragon, but not super commonly sided against zombies, I would think. So, I mean, trading off the hamster is kind of good, but this Raikou is just going to get flipped and kill the Cyber Dragon now, if he wants to. I mean, you could even tribute this off Caius the Cyber Dragon, and then Mizuki back the Zombie Master, or not even, I mean just Caius. So seems like he has a ton of options to deal with the Cyber Dragon. So I'm really kind of confused about how bad Hydro Pump's hand must be. But okay, so he just tributes off his own Cyber Dragon, makes Chimera attack. Alright, so he gets to keep the Raikou. So I mean, this is basically just a Caius. He does go for this. He doesn't have another target in the grave for the Zombie Master. This is really just a damage play, and I'm kind of not sure about it because like, if he's sitting on what I think he's sitting on, then putting more stuff on your board just can lead to a big crackback. I mean, Crow is also a card that I could have seen him having kept in hand. And if that was the case, then I mean, it would have hit the Mizuki anyway. It hit the Mizuki effect at some point, but you know, it's still making their Crow live, which would put them to 3 darks. So maybe there's an argument that you could have waited, but if it works out, I mean, it puts them to 38, so it's literally, as they say, a 2-turn clock. And with the Raikou set, so you're getting a pop off that too. But like, literally, what could he have? I mean, if you have Rain, then you can trade off with the Raikou, or at least like, sort of negate the value of the Raikou, like Rain on Zombie Master or something, swing over, they have to choose, do they want to pop, do they not want to pop, and maybe main phase 2 Blizzard. Okay, Storm makes sense. It's just really like whether there's a Dark Arm. Like if there's a Dark Arm, things could get kind of nasty for Indicud, but if there's no Dark Arm, I feel like everything else is kind of manageable. He just sets 3, he's gonna, or set 4, okay. 5, alright. We get it, bro. But yeah, just gonna play the fucking roulette right now. Whether he hits the right ones or he even has any outs. Like, what am I don't know, like, he could have drawn into Dead Icarus's the turn after he resolved that Blizzard and got run over. But it just seems like a really bad brick, like multiple Whirlwind. Yeah, like multiple Whirlwind. Maybe there's some side stuff like DDV. Okay, I mean that's good for Hydro Pump, like, because it resets the Chimera Tech's attack to 0. But it's also hard to believe that there's not going to be follow-up like a Diva or a Plague or a Caius that would also be game. So he hits Starlight Road, so now if he has Storm, obviously he's just slamming it, but mills the Storm, alright, no Storm. But it's just really a question mark of whether there's any actual, like, real back roads down there. Because if he had Road and Book and stuff, like, those might have gotten set some of the turns prior. I don't necessarily know that. I don't know. Okay, so I hit for 18 off the Zombie Master. Alright. So this is obviously the turn that Adrum's gonna have to make something happen. But he seems to just find more back row. I mean, now Zombie Master's lethal, but Deep Prison on it or something would at least buy Hydro Pump another turn, but it's like, what does he really need? I mean, if there are Dead Whirlwind set, then flipping those and summoning a Blackwing monster unopposed obviously is a big step in the right direction, but at only 1800 life points, it's like, I don't know how much can you really expect. Alright, he finds a set monster. That could be like a Kalu. Could it be though? A Crow. It could be Crow, yeah. Right, Crow with the set Icarus. Okay, so 1 Whirlwind. 2 Whirlwind? Okay, no. Alright. No response to this. What does this mean? Like, what are these back rows from Indicud? That's now the real question. Maybe a solemn that he wants to save for the back rows. Gale. What does Gale do? Like, I would think grinding out kind of incremental advantage with another Blizzard would be a little more valuable. Also kind of surprised that he didn't go after the Raikou there. It was like, I mean, although I doubt Nicked plays Book of Moon, like, you could reuse it, and also it can synchro with a Diva and such. Well, there could be a Prescient set. I wasn't really thinking about that, but yeah, because it all happened the turn. Yeah, could definitely be Prescient. And if that's the case, it might get flipped here on I could also have seen, like, if he does have the oppression, he could have, like, preemptively Icarus these two back rows, because okay, so none of that. I feel like another D prison though. Used. And he could also have a road or something to punish an Icarus. But what does this do? I think he's just thinking about his targets for Icarus, if I had to guess. And he's probably going to tribute this face down, the crow. Or not. Or not. So what now, though? I think he's just really worried about road. That's kind of what I'm getting. Like, I think he does have the Icarus, he just doesn't want to get roaded. I mean, he could do something like Gale, have this attack, then if Hydro Pump uses a Deep Prison or something, he could just Icarus and target only one of Indicode's cards. But that's a bad trade. I mean, not really hitting. What are we doing? I mean, he still has... No, he used Notice on the Plague. Okay. I feel like Hydro needs a top deck here, though. They could both have Solemns, honestly. Kinda real. But Common Whirl. Does he have more values to search though? That's kind of the question. Yeah, no, he doesn't. What the hell is Indica sitting on then? Because like, I feel like he probably has his own amount of like brains or mind controls or something like that. Did he have brains set as is? Yeah, I think he could. I think brain, oppression, Icarus. I mean, it's hard for me to imagine it's Icarus and he wouldn't have used it, but it's like not another whirlwind. column. Yeah, something in that. Maybe it is a little less likely it's Icarus than just one of the cards I mentioned. But now I gotta see whether he's gonna do... Okay, maybe just not Icarus, yeah. The road earlier. This is at 9. 900 attack. But... Okay, this hits. I'm gonna assume it to be Crow, but yeah, why would you set the Crow if none of these are Icarus? That's what I don't understand. Oh, Dinah. Okay, so I don't think this is Icarus, and he just was sitting on the Dinah for a long time because why not? I don't know. So, is this Dinah actually going to be a problem? That's what I want to figure out. Like, there's still one Raikou left, but he also used one Deepers and one Mirror Force. Okay, so he finds the Bora. This gets bottomless. Does this get like solemned though? Okay. Okay. Oh, he has second deeper. Oh my god, this guy's a fucking sacker. Because he doesn't have that many more outs to this. You know this guy's mad. You know he's fucking mad. That was kind of his meal ticket, I feel like. But... Alright, it's gone. It's gone. It's gone. I mean, it's still a weird spot because he has to... I mean, he's been through all of his, like, shit draws, basically, Hydro Combats, so he's gonna start drawing those Shuras, those Boras, as we just saw, another Blizzard, you know, the Sorokos, like, whatever. And vice versa, it's like, Indica hasn't drawn, like, any of his zombie engine. So he's also only at 14, so yeah, this happens on the value, or the clue, actually, sorry, clue. He had that engraved now. And, I mean, it's gonna still be hard if he does have the oppression to get over this. I mean, does Indica have like another Cyber Dragon? He doesn't have any... Well, he does have this for Book of Life. I feel like he's got like Brain Mind, Double Diva, or something weird like that. And Double Diva, like... He set Diva here? No, he probably found a Pyramid or a Goblin by this point, but... I mean, this is also one of those games that, by this point, in a turn or two, Hydro can figure out a way to make Dark Arm live. That could be super deadly. Like, one of those games they've been like trading the whole time, and then Dark Arm just randomly makes an appearance. I guess from Indica's perspective too, I mean, he has 3 Darks. I didn't even really think about that, but... I guess that's where like oppression comes into play. What did I say it was before? Oppression, Brain, potentially Solemn. I mean, does Shura come down here? You drop a Shura? Sure, yeah, okay. Things start to go downhill. This is where things start to go downhill. If he wins this game after drawing... I mean, he drew poorly, but he was able to draw like just well enough to survive. What do you get? Collude here? Yeah. Left, yeah. Bora. I guess you can Bora. I guess you could, right? You could Bora and then if this is like Goblin Zombie, then you could Armed Wing and kill him. I guess if you're Indica, you can be sitting on Gore's Trag too. Wait, so he got the Kalut? Oh my god. So he needs to have Trag or he dies, right? Oh no, he can pop the Kalut. Where did he get Bora? Was I not paying attention? I mean, this is going to be 27. Did he get Bora? Am I stupid? I literally clicked out of the window like I was trying to do some of the Discord. I don't understand what the fuck is going on here. We didn't get Kalut? Kalut was game. What the fuck? Swings with this and Kalut's it. Or it swings with this and Kalut's that, and then Kalut's direct. No? I don't understand this. Because you had a good play around there, but like... I mean, now look, you have 6 in hand, like... You have to do something, like you have to answer this board. And, I mean, there's all your zombies. You haven't been through any Book of Lives. You have 5 darks now. Like, what are you gonna do? Okay, Mind is a start. Is like Mind, Diva, try to Black Rose him? But like... I mean, if you resolve the Black Rose, like, you probably end up winning, right? Like, because then you just Book of Life something back and... But... Otherwise, I'm not sure. You can also just play... Yeah, okay, you can Plague. But if you're gonna just do that, then you would have taken the Armed Wing, right? No? I still think there's oppression, personally. I still think there's oppression, but... There's Book of Moon set, so that's could be Book of Moon Brain, something like that. What is he gonna do? I mean, is like, what is his hand, like Cut? I just don't get it. Eyes, his own Brain Con. Diva, Book of Life. Oh, okay, okay. Take this, but half. Yeah, okay, okay. There's a method to the madness. But if he can, we don't think it's Icarus, right? Or I'm saying we would. I don't think it's Icarus. Then you can go. Could it be bottomless still? I don't think it can, but I could be wrong. I don't think it can though. But I think you're pretty safe to go like Rio at least for 1. If not 3. And then like try to kill. I mean, you can Brio 1. think he's got a... Brio on this. I mean, Brio, stack for play, like, whatever, like, do whatever the fuck you want. I mean, I don't understand what the channables could be, like, and I guess it's not oppression, right? Like, it was Gores, so he didn't attack into the Gores. I mean, that makes sense, but can he just... Of the two... Okay, yeah, and they weren't bottomless, so I don't even understand what the fuck they were. Brain? And this is just game, right? Book life. I mean, it's just game. Bounce this with the Brio. You're a piece at... He added Blizzard? Yeah, see what? Yeah, he added Blizzard, but if he just added Kalut... Legal. Sure. I mean, that's one way to do it. He had like 4 ways to kill him, but okay. Okay. I guess we got there, I mean... Okay. Weird game. Very weird game. They're just echoing my thoughts. I was just saying that because that's what I say, but they're right. Weird game. I don't understand. What were the sets? He probably about to tell us. Or it's like some weird sidecar? Like, I don't know. Like, I think Brain. I think Brain, but I could be wrong about that. Use your ass, add your good hand that's good versus a good hand. Yeah, right, exactly. That's like low-key how it was. Okay. Alright, game 3. Big game 3. Big boy tournament. Winner gets a $50 fucking card, whatever card this is. Primeval Planet Perlereino. Perlereino. I'm looking at it right in front of me. Perlereino. One of the best cards in current Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG. Any top player will tell you. Very strong card. 3 effects. Reinforce from the army. Fucking Regeki Break. And a plus 500. It's a Gaia power at the same time. How good is that? Oh, well. Nice game. Nice game. Sometimes the most skillful back and forth games just have a game 3 like this, and you're just like, well, okay. I'm assuming there's real traps, right? Like honesty prisons, books, maybe. He hasn't had book. I think also Indicate is not a book enjoyer. We're getting close though, man. I'm enjoying this, but still, we're getting close. He had Enphase MST on the book. I mean, Hydrohome's got at least double book in post board, which, like, I don't know, it doesn't really seem like he's serving in that well. Like, seems like he's just kind of being forced to keep them set and then like taking minuses when he would otherwise use them. But like, I get that it can block the plague and stuff like that, but like, is that really it though? Like, okay, so this flips. Is this Icarus? Okay. Monsters, does this get eroded? Solemn? Trap stunned? I'm just naming stuff, but you know. Tools? Is that tools though? Yeah, sure. Falling back? No? Okay. Yeah, I mean, this might be game. Like, flip your Echo. Or not. Could be Zop. This could be a Snowman Eater, to be honest. Kinda feels like it is. So he rips a lore and just slams it. Guy did this to me today and banished his whole hand. Classic play. Name of the background music. I'll send. This is literally like a YouTube video that I ripped. I can send it to you, Ludo. Okay, so that's kind of crazy. We find a dark plus Shura, and we use the whirlwind. I feel like maybe you just get Bora and you try to hit over. But I don't know if he knows that there might be a Snowman Eater down. But if he ends up getting blown out here, that could be a really big swing. But otherwise, I feel like he's in a good spot. Like, he can. I mean, you also have a kind of guaranteed Shura over the one you know as Zombie Master, or you have a guaranteed Pierce over it. But like, if either of the others that you're not predicting are like Hamster, then you could get really blown out. So I'm not sure whether you take the guaranteed damage or the guaranteed search. Like, this is definitely better if it hits like a Goblin Zombie, but or like a Plague here, maybe, but that feels like, yeah, like a Rekko is obviously just even. I don't know. I kind of think like Surge Wizard and like Shura over this might have been kind of clean. But Deep Prison is, I don't know. Yeah, Deep Prison kind of blows. I don't know. Maybe lead with Shura, like summoning the Bora just as the kind of Deep Prison hedge, maybe. I don't know. Hard to say, and I'd have to look at the hands. The Storm's gone, right? So what can Indigood put together here? I mean, you can flip the Snowman, hit one. I kind of feel like that's okay. Flip Mizuki, so sure would have gotten crazy value. He just chose not to do it. He was worried that one was probably Hamster or Snowman. But like, if you're gonna do all that, I just don't think the Boar is the play, because I'd rather take the guaranteed search than the guaranteed 17 damage. I think. With this, I mean, you're obviously crashing the Bora. It doesn't seem like there's prison because he booked on the Zombie Master, but maybe that was just to set up the Shura if he drew it. He didn't end up doing it anyway, so I don't know. thinking. I mean, I guess if you're flipping this, you might end up crashing. Okay. Okay, so Plague. Okay. But summoning all this first, don't you get blown by Icarus? No? Second Icarus? Okay. This can search Gale also. Don't forget it. Don't forget, peeps. And are you just like rifling a random... No, I mean, I think you just swing, right? It's probably game. Blues. Yeah, he's gonna use it. The Gale, yeah. Kinda cute. That's gotta be game. Yeah. Double prison, but like no. Okay, Indicate wins. Honestly, great match. Like very back and forth, weird match, but a good one, I would say. So big congrats to winner of our first Edison tournament ever, my close associate Indicate. Nice job to Hydro Pump getting second, and thank you all for tuning into the stream. We're gonna up the production value. We're gonna up everything, bro. We're gonna get everything on point, and we're gonna host some great tournaments. I have a few. I believe I have some free time this winter, so that's a big goal of mine. Host some nice tournaments. Tired of these janky ass money tournaments that people don't know what they're doing and hard to get in touch with anyone. Very inconsistent. So I just want to have some nice Edison GOAT format, maybe hat, maybe current tournaments. Really whatever you guys want. And glad you guys could tune into the stream. These matches were very fun to commentate, and also I'm just very glad that, you know, you guys make it easy, the players. But congrats to Indicate again. I will be posting the deck list in the winning deck list channel and server. I'll drop the link to this server one last time. And for you guys who want to view it, but great stream. Thank you guys. And this is James, Gauntlet Gaming, the new